All right, guys, top of the morning, April 15th, 14th. Jesus Christ, let me start this over. Happy Monday, April 14th. Hopefully, you guys are feeling good, feeling alive, had an amazing weekend doing whatever it is that you did. I'll tell you what, you guys, I'm feeling really excited about where we are. Had some time over the weekend. And one thing that we never miss as a family, as much as we get busy and go in different ways, we never miss Sunday dinner. Never. Sunday dinner is a thing for us in our household. We sit down, we break bread, we talk, I barbecue, we cook pasta, whatever it is. But Sunday dinners are really, really important for us to just, be ready to start our week, connect as a family, and I will never, never discount a Sunday dinner meal. So I'm going to turn it over to somebody to bring us out on the field on this amazing Monday morning, the 14th, not the 15th. And that person's going to be Cecilia. Cecilia, no pressure at all. Now, Cecilia, I'm going to have you bring us out on the tunnel, out of the tunnel. You're going to set the tone, set the sentiment. And I'm not sure if you did this last week. Maybe you did, but I don't care. You're going to go again. So, Cecilia, the mic is going to turn over to you. So go ahead and kick this thing off. But if she can't find the mute, I'm going to run an audible and I'm going to find another person. She can't find the mute button. So Otis, you are front and center for me, actually center of my screen. So Otis, I'm going to turn it over to you and I'm going to have you share your sentiment and bring us out on the field on this amazing, amazing Monday morning. And Cecilia will one day find that mute button. Let's go, Otis.
All right, team. It's Monday. It's the start of our week and start of group coaching, first of 1 to 3. Blew my mind this past weekend. Like we're literally halfway through the year. So where you at? Where you at in your space? Do you feel comfortable? And to know that no matter how, heavy your foot is on the gas or how light it is on the brake, it's okay. It's okay to restart. We got, intensity, going on again. So if anybody really needs a kick in the ass, hop on. It's going to definitely scale your business. It's going to take you to another level. It's going to teach you how to be a realtor. So there's really no excuse. Wherever you're at, you're in a comfortable place around people that are going to love you. I've been telling all my mentees right now, I just gained like 4 of them. So like I've been really busy managing instead of doing the day to day. So I got to restructure myself where I can manage, do my day to day and still grow my business, but still be out there in the service of others. So just shoot it from the hip. Be real with yourself. Don't be playing around. Don't fuck around, play games and get in your head. Just move forward, whatever you need. There's going to be someone here on this team, whether it's the management team or somebody that's out there looking to get an accountability partner or something. Find your groove. Don't make no excuses because we're the team that is exactly like that. There's no reason. There's people battling cancer. There's people coming back from severe life injuries. There's people dealing with, multiple kids, families, a bunch of shit. You know what I mean? So there's literally no excuse. Don't let yourself be the reason why you're not succeeding.
Wow, my man, I appreciate it. And just so everybody knows, a disclaimer, I know he said, get yourself an intensity. Intensity is closed. I'm not accepting anybody else. I closed that last week, but for the brave souls that already signed up, thank you. We're going full tilt. That starts today at 11 o'clock. And so, Otis, thanks for sending that or saying that. We are starting another round. And if you missed this round, you missed this round. Be on the lookout for future dates. So, you guys, we're going to go ahead and get rolling. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being on. Once again, if you have the ability to throw your cameras on, I'm not calling anybody out, but I'm going to call a few people out. Chicken Mom, Jakara, Jocelyn, if you have the ability to be here, throw your cameras on, be in this moment. Marcelina, Maori, excuse me. Nico, Chris, Leo, you guys know who you are. Get in this moment. How you show up here is super, super important. This is active. This is not a passive room. And so I'm going to pull some things up on my screen right now, and I want to get people involved. And Jamie Thomas, you're going to be up first. So Jamie, you with me? Okay, thank you, Jakar. Thank you, Jakar. We'll hold until you are ready. All right, cool. So Jamie, I'm going to have you read this quote out, or maybe this passage to everybody, and I'm going to share my screen now and go ahead and read this out loud for everybody on the screen. Let's roll.
All right. Nobody talks about the middle, the part where excitement fades and progress stalls, where the work feels endless, the wins feel small, and the finish line isn't even in sight. The middle is where most people quit, not because they couldn't do it, but they thought it wasn't supposed to feel this way. But this is actually where the growth happens. Push through. One day, this chapter will be a part of your story you are most proud of.
I'm going to leave that there for a minute, you guys. And I want you to look at this. I want you to read it. I want you to reflect for a moment, take a picture of it, do whatever you have to do. But Jamie, when you read this, Where do you go? Give me your thoughts and your narrative on this quote here. Let's roll.
My first thing that went to my mind was, you do want to quit, because I was one of those that wanted to quit when I first joined this group. I'm like, oh hell no, this is painful. But you have to push through it. If it's more painful to stop than it is to keep going. So that's where my mind went. It's more painful to stop than it is to keep going.
Ooh, I love, I love that. I love your narrative on that. Anybody else have any thoughts, any contribution around this message as we start group coaching? Anybody else want to take a stab at this? I would love to hear your contributions. All right, let's go Glenn, and let's go Heather. You'll be up next. And then I got some things prepared for everybody. So let's go Glenn.
Yeah, one of the things I thought in reading that is the Valley of Despair, right? Instantly that the chart came up with the Valley of Despair. And I was there the end of last year, the beginning of this year. I was in the Valley of Despair, where you're like, I started applying for jobs and thinking, real estate isn't the world for me. Things just aren't shaping up the way that they need to. And then, one day I just sat there and I said, you know what? Stop it. Stop it. You know where you're supposed to be. You know what's right. And, just push through it. And because I pushed through, you get to take a look back and see where you went. It's just like building muscle, right? You look at the weights on the bar, you're like, I can't lift that. Guess what? You're not going to lift it. You got to get under that bar and push, and then you're going to lift it, and it's going to hurt, but you're not going to regret it.
Yeah. Glenn, I really appreciate that. And actually, when I read that, I went right to the Valley of Despair as well. And another thing that stood out for me is a message from Nikki Miller that we had 2 months ago on Intensity. She said, or no, maybe it was, no, it was Lindsay Stevens said, we don't stop in the middle, right? We don't stop in the middle. That's where the biggest growth happens. And so I got to say this, Glenn, I saw some pictures you posted the other day, and I saw a picture of Big Glenn. My man, Big Glenn. I didn't even recognize you at first. Dude, congratulations once again on your journey.
Thank you.
And I think that correlates perfectly to what we do in business, right? You didn't stop in the middle. You did the hard work. You made a commitment and you saw it through. And look at you now with your shirt tucked in and your belt on, looking all slim and lean, man. I mean, I saw that picture and I was absolutely mind blown. So well done, my man. Let's go over to Heather, and then we're going to go over to Nicole, and then we'll shift gears in the conversation. Let's go, Heather. I'll pull it back up on the screen in case you need it as a reference. Let's go, Heather, rapid fire.
Yeah. So look at this.
Oh, okay. Your background's blurred, but I take it as the record that I have right here.
Yep.
I love it. Love it. Let's roll.
So same as Glenn, and it's funny, the email that you sent the other day, he said that's, I'm going to try not to cry. That's where I'm at right now. I just remember when I was in real estate and I was killing it, and somebody's like, you're doing so well. And I was like, it's what it is. And I was just like, so proud of myself at one point. And I was like, when you're doing what the universe, you're on your path and you're doing what the universe wants you to do, it's like everything just comes together. And I had that mindset, and then I don't know what happened, and it all went away. And I was literally crying in Walmart, and I'm like, how low do I have to get? And I'm just trying, and I'm putting forth so much effort, and it's hard, and I'm like, I don't want to give up. Don't give up, and it's just getting to the point, like, how broke do I have to get? How low do I have to get? And I don't want to give up, and I don't want to get a part-time job. And I'm like, I'm just going to keep plugging away. This is where it has to be. And I'm like, shit, where do we have to be? And that's not what I want to do, and it's almost to the point where the more that I get thrown down, the more that I'm just like, no, I just want to keep going. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't know. That's just the way life is. Not everything is going to be good forever. And that doesn't mean that you just give up and say, well, it just got hard, so I'm just going to do this. It just, when it gets hard, you get harder and you get tougher. But I'm telling you right now, it's hard for me. So I'm just going to let you all know. I still keep showing up, and I'm still here, and it's super duper hard for me right now. So just know you're not alone, for those of you that are going through it right now.
So Heather, let me just pause and say I really, really appreciate this side of you and you being vulnerable. Share with me on this call if you've ever experienced that time where you were just up against the wall, the shit was really, really tough, and you didn't really see what the next steps were going to be, and like you felt a little defeated. Please just raise your hand if you've ever felt defeated in this game. And I'm raising my hand as somebody that has felt that way in this game. I felt defeated. And Heather, there was a time where I didn't know what was coming next. I'm like, oh my God, am I in the right position? Am I in the right seat? Am I in the right, purpose? Am I living in my purpose? And then all of a sudden it changes. But right there at that valley of despair that Glenn was talking about, the moment you just start to inch up past that, now you have informed optimism because something that you have been doing tirelessly behind the scenes now starts to surface. And some of these things, Heather, are new to you. The way that you did business 3 years ago is vastly different than the way we do business today. And you're on a team now that is opening your eyes to new ways of doing business and new thoughts and new visibility on social media, all these things. And so when we're in that valley of despair, the moment we can start climbing and have that informed optimism, meaning that, gosh darn it, look it, something actually does pay off or did pay off. And now I'm informed with the level of optimism that's going to keep me going. So Heather, as you can see, you're not alone. I've been in that same seat that you are in right now. And I promise you, if you continue to fight, and be open-minded about doing new things and stay consistent, all things are going to work out for you. I promise you that. I promise. And look at all the hands. I mean, I remember when George Martinez never was on video, right? I remember when Blessing started out. I remember when Jessica Segura Hernandez was coming in to do study hall before she even had her license. I remember Otis went a whole entire year without a deal. I remember Jen Oak on our team went 9 months in 2020 without a deal. Julie, the numbers agent, top agent on our team, she went 1 year without a deal. 1 year without a deal.
Yeah.
And you look at them now, you're like, damn, look at how much success they've had. But we've all been in that valley before. Heather, sorry, you said something.
No, I just agree. I said, yeah, it's just hard. It's a difficult place to be, and it's easy, it's easy to give up. I could see for most people, it's hard to stay in it. You're like, shoot, how broke, how low do I have to get? But and then it's like I had this thing that I follow a lot of like entrepreneurs and stuff like that, and it shows somebody like mining in a cave for diamonds. And just right before they get to
They put it on the shoulder and they walk away.
Yeah. So
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. So Heather, listen, hopefully, not hopefully, I know that if you stay the course of intensity, which I know that you signed up and you're ready to walk into the fire, I promise you great things will come as a result of you completing that program. So Heather, thank you first and foremost for your vulnerability. If anybody else wants to chime in on this, please feel free to. I got Blessing in the queue, Brandy in the queue, Nicole and the Maori. Don't go too far. I want to make sure I get everyone's contribution. Let's go, Blessing. I'm not sure if you're contributing on the quote or there was something that was response to what Heather was just sharing or somewhere in between. Let's roll. And you're muted.
It's definitely in response. Am I still muted?
Yeah,
No.
but we're having internet challenges with you lately. So if you could just take your camera off and let's just go with the audio.
Okay, so it's definitely in response to what Heather just shared, and the vulnerability. Like, kudos to you, because facing that is sometimes the hardest thing to do. A lot of us, like you saw, have raised our hand and have been in a place where we want to give up. And giving up means something different for a lot of people. I don't know that I've shared this part of my story, but sometimes giving up is the difference between life and death. And when you get to a point where you want to give up, you have to focus out. You can't sit in, and I'm saying you can't, but I'm actually speaking directly to myself. You can't sit in your own. Think about what you would say to your best friend or a really, really dear loved one that's in your same situation. Because a lot of times we can't see past our own situation and circumstances. But if you shift that focus outward, you become that coach that is in there. You see that path and you can give them those instructions. So one of the things that when I was going through like some of the darkest parts of my life, the thing that they told us was change your soundtrack. Say, blessing is amazing. Like speak it out as if you're speaking to someone else, but you hear it. So Heather, you're amazing. Heather, you've got this. Like say what you need to do out loud with your name as you're speaking it, and you'll slowly start to change your soundtrack. Because when you can change your soundtrack of what you're stuck in, you can see through. And once you break through, you'll see that literally it was just another obstacle. It does become part of your story. It does become part of your comeback. And when you are coaching your team and you're growing your business and you're sitting on a panel talking about, I closed 80 deals this year due to my team, they're going to ask, what did it come back to? And you're going to come back to this moment and say, I just changed my soundtrack. I got out of my head and out of my way, and I kept going. So don't stop. This is your middle. It might be the very beginning of your middle, but you're in the middle and you know that your success is right on the other side. So just keep going. And we're going to be on stages. We're going to be on we're doing big things already. It's just a matter of, contracts catching up.
Man, I really, really appreciate it. And blessing for somebody that has had these struggles. How many deals are you in right now? What's your pipeline look like right now?
I just ratified on my third contract. The 1, 2, 3 last week, give keys to someone. I just got another lead at church yesterday, which is absolutely amazing. And then I have a consultation later today, and then we're taking out a client, Cortez and I, this week between today and Wednesday. And then I'm actually going dark for a week to catch up and pull through some of my pipeline. So it's insane, but I love it.
I absolutely love this. Mary, don't go too far, but I'm going to share a sentiment with everybody. And as you guys were talking, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling that you're in a struggle, if you're feeling that you're in that valley of despair, before you allow yourself to think that way and feel that way, you have to ask yourself, do I have permission to feel this way? And stay with me for a moment. Do I have permission to feel this way? Meaning, if you have done every single fucking thing in your power, meaning that you could count how many doors that you have knocked in the last 30 days, and it's 500. I've dropped 3 videos a day. I've gone to the office. I've done this. I've made sure to exhaust my database. I've called every single lead. I've sent out handwritten cards. Like if you've done every single thing and you still haven't got there, I get it. I get it. But do you even have the permission to feel that way? Do you? And if you don't have the permission to feel that way, then yeah, you need to have a checkup from the neck up and have a conversation with yourself. And don't feel fucking sorry for yourself and don't feel bad about it if you haven't done the work. No, if you have done the work, then yeah, I get it. Shit's tough. But this is not calling Heather out. This is for everyone that's on the screen and that will see it in the future. Do you have the permission to feel that way? Look at the bottom of your walking shoes. Is that fucking shred worn down because you said, I don't have any business, but today I'm knocking for 3 hours. I got water and I'm just going to go knock and I'm going to find opportunities. Some people complain to me and I don't even see a video that they've dropped in the last 2 weeks. What? No video? Nothing? No stories? No visibility? You haven't been in your database? You don't even have anybody in your database? You don't have the permission to feel that way. Now, if you've done the work and you have put in the hours and you've put in the effort and you still haven't got that and you've been mining, then by all means, you have that permission. But don't be too hard on yourself if you have not uncovered every stone possible in order to drive your business forward. Make sense, everybody? Good. Maori, you're up next. Bless Brandy. And then, sorry, kids, you're on the line today. Uncle E will cuss once in a while. Let's go, Maori. What do you got for us?
Hi, can you see me?
I can, yeah. And I'm glad.
Awesome. Sorry, it's just been a while since I've been in this team setting and meeting a lot of, amazing teammates in the office and how vulnerable they are to share so much information, that is definitely helpful and needed, especially for me. Just a little bit about myself, I've been doing this for quite some time. And this time around, it's hitting differently. And I just don't know what it is. Like, I'm just trying to figure things out. I don't know if it's an age thing or an experience thing or just, listening to the outside noise where they're telling us, one thing about the market and not being positive about it. But what I've noticed is that when I feel like I'm getting there where I'm falling into depression, I pick myself up and I take my ass to the office every day possible. And being surrounded by amazing agents, regardless of the years of experience, but seeing everybody positive and hustling and closing and sitting in this, meeting with everyone and just sharing their stories, it really helps me a lot. And it makes me feel like, wow, I'm not alone in this. And it is a community. um, and I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone here and just showing up and just showing their vulnerability and their truth. Because just that's just what it is. That's my medicine to get my ass back up and to do what I have to do because I do have a reason and I have a why. There's no excuses,
Mm.
you know?
Mary, I appreciate you sharing, and it's really, really good to have you in this space. We've been working together for years now. I mean, back to 2019, I've known Maori. And so we all go through different seasons
Mhm.
and different cycles of what this business looks like for us. And sometimes we have to be, vulnerable. We have to open up,
Yeah.
we have to release, but then we have to say, you know what? I'm going to make I'm going to get realigned with my purpose of why I'm actually in this business. And the fact that you're showing up, the fact that you're here, because you could be cocky. You could be cocky and be like, I don't need to go to group coaching. I've done so much business in the past. Why would I want to go? Well, your car needs new oil. You need to
Yeah.
get tune up. You need to get checkup. That's why you're here. And so, Mary, I appreciate your sentiment and you being here. And human coach to friend. I'm here for you if you need anything.
Thank you. I
All right, we're
appreciate
gonna
everyone. Thank you.
Aaron, I'm going to pass it over to you. I'm going to have Brandy go next, and then we'll go Nicole, and then I have some stuff prepared for you guys. So, Aaron, if Brandy finishes quickly, pass it over to Nicole, and I'll be right back. That's the cue.
Brandy, are you up?
Oh, is that me? Okay.
Yeah, that's you.
I thought I raised my hand just when he was said the thing about everybody raised their hand, so I must have left it up. But I can contribute. The moments, where I like when Elias said that, we have to give ourselves, we absolutely have permission if we've done all the things. And I think we also have to look at quitting as what do we need to quit to get to our dreams, to get to our goals. It's not so much quitting on ourselves on what we're doing, but there's some things that we do need to quit to be able to move further. We need to be able to let things go. Is it our ego? Is it our pride? Is it, our unorganized systems? Is it not being able to reach out and say, hey, I don't know this. Is there somebody else that knows this? To be able to reach forward and think of, I always think the one thing that you need to do is the hardest thing that's gonna push you forward. And I know I can speak for myself. I'm in that space now, and I had to kind of swallow some of my pride and ego and just go, you know what? Like, what is it that I really have to do? What is it that I'm avoiding? Usually the answers are right in front of us. And we overlook and make the problem so much bigger than really what it is. And we know what it is that we have to do, but we do all the other little tasks, and that push us maybe a half a step forward rather than just letting go and doing the big step forward. And I always say, I love that there's a lot of vulnerability, and I love the quote that says, I'm speaking out loud now because I almost died in silence. So your dreams are going to die in silence if you don't speak up, if you don't reach out for help, if you don't actually do all the actions. So yeah.
Wow. Really, really powerful, powerful as always. You guys, thank you for staying here in this space with me and with us because oftentimes I don't know where the conversation will go. I have a duty every time we do coaching to just provoke some thought and provoke some emotion. And sometimes we hit a fucking nerve, and that's what we're doing here. So, Nicole Penland, I'm going to go rapid fire to you, and then I have some things prepped and prepared. I have a whole presentation prepared, and I want to make sure to get to it. So, let's go, Nicole. What do you got for us?
Can you throw the quote back up?
Yes, ma'am. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go.
Okay, so this took me to when I got my diagnosis because I was just getting momentum. I wasn't booming. I had just got a listing. And my greatest fear was getting stuck.
Hmm.
My greatest fear was folding and letting go of all the work that I had already put in and just throwing my hands up. So the fear, I think, pushed me more than anything because it's like I've gotten to a certain point. I see that it's possible, but I know I can do better. But if I stop here, it's over.
Hmm. You know, really, really, really powerful. And obviously, you guys know Nicole's story, but you guys, we don't quit in the middle. Like, we don't quit in the middle. We've all experienced hardships and trauma and drama, and we have things going on in our life. And you have to find it within yourself to say, I'm going to stay the course, and I'm also going to do the work. And ask yourself, do I have permission to feel this way? So really good stuff, you guys. We're going to shift gears. We're going to go right into some things really quick. This is called the go to the board exercise. We do this every single Monday. I don't want to hear the excuses, no bullshit, no stories. We're going to shift the gears and talk about production. And what happens is that when we talk about the production, a lot of the times we have to think about what we're doing on a daily basis and where in my day-to-day am I choosing comfort over results, and how will I confront that pattern starting today? So I have 5 questions or 4 or 5 questions prepared for the morning. And this is the first one. Where in my day-to-day am I choosing comfort over results? And how will I confront that pattern starting today? So I want to talk to somebody, get yourself on camera, answer that question. And if you've already spoke today, then don't raise your hand on this one because I want to get some new contributions and some new hands on. So where in my day-to-day am I choosing comfort over results, and how will I confront that pattern starting today? I want somebody to take this. I want a brave soul to get in the queue and answer that question. George Martinez and then Luis. Man, really appreciate you both raising your hand on this one. And then we have Deep Bledsoe. So ladies just took the mic for a little bit. Now we're going to turn it over to the gentleman. Let's go, George. What do we got?
Yeah, so I feel like lately I've been kind of comfortable just in my business because I feel like the last year and a half, 2 years, I've worked really hard. So now my business has kind of been generating organically to where leads are flowing into me. But now I think that's where I've been trying to challenge myself by working online leads or different lead gens that the team does have. And I know you and I met a couple of weeks ago and you were like, what the hell is up going on? Like, why aren't you following up? And I told you, like, it's maybe me in my comfort zone that I've never really worked online leads until this year. So I think I have been thinking about it over the last week, and I'm like, damn, has anything really changed since you and I last spoke about that? Have I really done the follow-up cadence that I had told you I was going to do? And I'll be honest with you, no, if I'm being honest with myself. And I'm telling myself, I saw that over the weekend when I had an investor reach out to me and say, hey, like, what off-market opportunities do you have? And me and Roxanne went on a listing appointment, and we were supposed to like follow up with the person. I went out of town for 2 weeks and came back, and I sent that property to the investor, and he goes, hey, did my brother send that to you? And I was like, wait, what? No. He was like, it's on my brother's story. Well, my investor, his brother is also an agent with Compass. I went to his story, found out because we didn't follow up, uh, they signed with a Compass agent, and it's a $1.4 million cash to value lead. So,
Ouch.
I mean, that's not the first time it happened to me. It happened to me last year. So I think to me, I just need to get out of my own way and actually sit down, follow up, hold myself accountable because I feel like I can put it in my calendar, but am I really holding myself accountable to follow-ups? No. If I'm being 100% honest. And so I think that's where I need to kick my own ass into gear, whether it's me doing it personally or me training my VA or taking on an agent under my wing that is willing and hustling, because at this point, I'd rather split 50-50 of my commission than zero.
Man, George, I really appreciate you being so honest as always. And I heard Kyle Whistle say this, and he said it to our group a few weeks back. He said, the systems run the business, but the humans run the systems. And so we're responsible for implementing these systems that are going to ultimately drive the business. And, you know, a 1.4, yeah, that's one missed opportunity. That's a good payday. But how many other missed opportunities are in your database right now? And so, you know, what we never want to do is get stuck, you know, living in this moment. Right? The moment is right now, transaction, I'm prospering just right now. Like there's a long game involved in that. There's touch points, there's nurture game. And oftentimes you're not alone, George. That's a part where we miss. And so, man, I'm really, really glad that you said that. If there's anything I can do, please let me know. But I appreciate your contribution at a very high level. Luis, you're up next, and then Demian. Let's roll.
Oh man. So one of the biggest things I've been avoiding is the door knocking. And I can remember the last time I door knocked, the last person slammed the door in my face, and for some reason it really turned me off. And if I'm going to be honest, that's kind of a bullshit excuse. So I actually just put in a request to get a door knocker made, and I'm just going to go out there and door knock.
Let's go. Luis, saying the saying that I'm going to go door knocking means that I am walking into rejection. Okay? I'm a single guy going to a bar. I'm going to talk to that girl. She's probably not going to vibe with me. It's okay. I'm accepting that rejection, but somebody may want to dance with me. That's the whole idea. It's like you're putting yourself in a scenario where I know that I'm going to get rejection, but you know it. It's okay. And I'm going to process that. I'm going to be all right with it because I'm not looking for everybody to shake my hand and welcome me and say, yes, I would love to talk to you about listing my home. No. I'm just looking for one person to say, you know, we're actually considering because we're moving to Arizona. Would love to sit down and hear your strategy. That's it. We welcome the rejection. We're firefighters. So, Luis, I appreciate you saying that, my man. And I'm sure there's somebody on this call right now that would be down to go door knocking with you. Promise you. Luis, good stuff. Let's go, D. Bledsoe. What do we got?
Good morning. Just learning balance in this game, I think, is perpetual. Like you have to have balance with everything. Not too high, not too low. Past couple weeks, I've had a closing, which is a little rare for me because I go from closing to, I always call it unemployment. I close one and I'm back unemployed and looking for the next one. But it's been a blessing. Like I said, last couple weeks, I've had a closing, and instead of getting in that relaxed mode that I'm usually in once I get into contract, I had a call on my listing the other day, and instead of telling this client that it was pending and I can't show it to you, I'm like, yeah, I'll meet you at 10:30. I go over there and I lock in a buyer. He wasn't even qualified to buy this unit that I have listed, but I took the appointment knowing that I was going to turn this into another client for myself. So just wanted to chime in that my plan that I've been working is just to keep working even while we have things in contract, and it does feel good. I'm not waiting to that panic state to start working the leads that I have. I've been pausing myself with Zillow Flex leads lately because I was busy with the clients that I had and I wanted to be responsible with that. This weekend, my calls were back on. I got 2 calls, one for $2 million, one for 1.5, and another, no, it was 3, and another for 1.2. And I was in position and in a headspace to actually help these people and not either, again, be in a panic state or just be in a mode of brushing them off. I'm in a state of confidence and indifference. Like whether it works out or not, I'm here to help you and I can do the job. And it feels good to be in that space.
Man, I absolutely love that because, you know, sometimes we do that. We rest on our laurels. We got in a contract, kind of take our foot off the gas. And then it's like, God damn, I got to start back over again. The idea is to stay on the freeway, right? Not stop and have to start at a stop sign again. No, I want to be on the freeway. I don't care what lane you're in, but you're on the freeway. And so I absolutely love that sentiment, Damian. Let's go to Christina. We'll go to you next, and I'll come up with I'll bring up the next question. Let's go, Christina. What do we got for him?
Yeah, so just going off of George's point, I thought it was a really cool thing where he said, leverage the agents, like new ones like myself. I feel that I've been trying to help out any agents available, and it's been really successful with certain ones. They send me like, oh, I got a connection. Can you go see this person? And like 2 out of the 3 times that happened, I got appointments. We got on consults, BRVC signed. So even though I'm in contract on one, I'm like looking at the next step. And I think it's helpful to be with agents that, have more experience and are willing to let you do that showing and go kind of meet the client. And it's beneficial because then once we're in the console, I'm learning from them. And here we go to the next and just keep it moving. That's my routine.
I love this. I love this, you guys. If you're an agent on here that maybe doesn't have the momentum in your business, there's a lot of agents on here. You heard George speak. He's like, hey, I might need a little bit of support. Like, reach out. Like, reach out to the experienced agents that have a bigger database. And George has been very successful, and he still knows that there's opportunities within his database. And so, good stuff, Christina. Appreciate it, George. What do we got? Really quick, rapid fire, because I'm going to shift gears.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like Christina was saying, how I love how she's super eager to learn, because I feel like that's exactly what helped get me to where I'm at in my business. Is I know a lot of people always gave me shit in the beginning, and they're like, why do you partner? Why are you giving half your money away? The way I saw it is that you're in a deal, you're learning with somebody, you're learning from different people. And I want to say, I think since I've been licensed, I've probably partnered with about 15 plus different agents on different deals. And it's allowed me to speed up my growth, my business, because I get the opportunity to learn, like, how is Elias in a deal? How is Kelly in a deal, or Nicole or JJ or Ro? Like, you pick up different things and different like PDFs and ways to talk to clients, and you learn a lot more about what you like, and it allows you to mold your business into what you want it to look like, because you can do like Tom Ferry cold calling, door knocking, but at the end of the day, I've started to build a business around what works for me in my life and what I learned I like to do. And if there's something I have a strength in, I partner with somebody that has that strength, because 50-50 is better than 0 divided by 0.
Man, I absolutely love that. Good stuff. JJ, what do you got for him, big dog? Let me put this quote back up. Was it a contribution to this or something different?
100% of 0 is 0. So, and this is something that I've been telling people for the 22 years that I've been here. You especially when you first start, you're concerned about how much money you're going to make, and you see splitting 20, 30, 50% of your commission. But if you don't have the experience, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have whatever the other person is bringing, you get 100% of nothing. So don't think in those terms.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, let's keep cruising. I've got a couple other things for you up on the screen right now. Let me just read this out loud. What lie or excuse have I been telling myself that's holding me back from executing at a high level? And what truth am I replacing with this week? So let's be real for a minute. Who wants to grab the mic? What lie or excuse have I been telling myself that's holding me back from executing at a higher level? Like, what have you been telling yourself and it's not really true, right? Oh, no, I'm doing good. Or yeah, I'm like, I got all my systems in order. Or yeah, I'm prospecting. And then you don't fucking prospect. Oh, no, I worked out, but you didn't really work out. Oh, no, I'm eating so healthy. Well, then what the fuck were you doing at Chick-fil-A at 9:45? Like what lie have you been telling yourself? And if anybody is brave enough to take this, I'm going to stop for a second. And I'm going to allow you guys to be bold and answer that question. What lie or excuse have I been telling myself that's holding me back from executing at a higher level? Cool. I got some hands up at the queue. I love this. Thank you, guys. Let's go on two and then go Kelly. Let's go. And then Ariel. Let's roll.
Well, so you guys, I do my yoga every single day, and haven't been doing it for like 6 weeks because I've been busy. But I think that's just the lie that I tell myself, that I say I've been busy with real estate and my design work, and I don't go work out. And it's definitely I feel it in my body. Like today, I'm just like, God, I need to get to the gym. And that's the lie that I've been telling myself for the past like month and a half. And I think it's a huge thing that helps me move my day forward because my energy is different and my body is different. And so it's been built into my life for the past 2 years. And now that it hasn't been in my life for 6 weeks, I'm like dying. And so I need to get back. And that's a huge lie that I've been doing, telling myself. And it really is affecting my business and my body. And I can feel it. It sucks. So yeah.
Well, you know what? I appreciate the sentiment at a very, very high level. But now, moving forward for the next 6 weeks, you have zero excuses. Every single week in intensity, the group is required to work out 3 times per week. 3 times per week. I don't care what it is, 3 times per week, though. Tell me a time that you worked out and you didn't feel amazing afterward. Tell me.
Never.
Look, you might be sore, you might kick, but you get in the car and you're like, wow, I feel fucking good. I feel good. So I'm with that sentiment. Really good stuff. Let's go, Kelly, and let's go, Ariel. I want to make sure I get through everybody. So Kelly Hilker, what do you got? Rapid fire. I'm going to put this back up on the screen really quick. What lie have you been telling yourself that's holding you back from executing at a higher level?
Well, I just been like, I have these two sides to me right here where it's like, oh my God, you have so much going on and this, that, and the other. And like, oh, you got to get through this. And then you're going to start producing more and you're going to start doing all those things that you're supposed to be doing. And so it's a constant battle within myself of like, I'm a fucking go-getter, but then I have all of this shit going on too. So it's like, I'm just trying my hardest to focus and like stay positive and push through, persevere. I'm super excited for intensity for this go around, you know. But yeah, it's just a constant battle within myself and I beat myself up because I know I have so much potential and I have, I could be doing so much more than I'm doing right now and I'm letting myself down. So, it's a constant reminder that to kick my ass, in gear and let's go.
So if I had to, because I want to make sure I have this very clear, what is the liar excuse that you've been telling yourself? Like, what is the one thing?
That once all this noise quiets, that I'm gonna get better
Okay.
on my track.
Okay. All right. Kelly, I really, really appreciate your sentiment and I appreciate our conversation that we've had over the last couple of days. Like I said, if you need anything, I'm here for you. Ariel, what's good? Let's hear from you. And Ariel, when you contribute right now, I'm going to have you put your camera on.
Okay. Sorry, 1 second. I'm doing my hair.
It's all right. A lot of people doing their hair, getting the kids ready, doing all the things, but I want to make sure that your contribution is heard and we see your face.
Okay, here we go.
There she is. All right. So what liar excuse have you been telling yourself that's holding you back from executing at a higher level? Let's roll.
That I'm busy. It kind of echoes the sentiment of Kelly and just that I'm busy, which is not to say that I'm not busy, but I think a big problem is that I feel overwhelmed and I don't know where to start. And part of that is my systems are not in place. So the lie is that I'm busy and I am busy, but I'm not using my time to to its full potential, I guess.
All right. You know, Ariel, I love this. You're not alone in this challenge. If anybody on this call has something that they want to spend a little bit more time with me on and unpack that and have an actual coaching session, get on my calendar. Call eliasastuto.com, get on my calendar, and let's unpack this. And I promise you, together, we're going to find a solution. And I'm solution based. Some of you don't want to call me sometimes. And here's why. I believe, damn, he's going to push me. He's going to ask me some tough questions. I'm going to have some sense of accountability. Goddamn right. Goddamn right. So if you have a challenge, you need something, get on my calendar. I promise you and I can work through to find a solution to get you feeling better about where you're headed. So Ariel, I appreciate you throwing your camera on, getting in this moment and contributing. Let's go Ro and let's go Mayori, and then we're going to shift gears.
Yeah, good morning. So ditto Kelly and Ariel, definitely feel that way. But the other thing I was telling myself is, oh, I don't know enough people and my database is so small, my sphere of influence is so small. And I need to stop saying that because I went and watched the championship men's basketball game with a friend of mine and I have to remember to think real estate all the time. And I just happened to say to him, do you know about this NAPCA program? And he's like, I'm ready to buy. Yeah, I'm going to come to the workshop and yeah, let's start looking. And can you set me up? Can you change some of the parameters on Real Scout? And it just it just made me think like I have to, everyone I'm in community with is a potential client, and I need to think differently about that. Yeah.
Man, I absolutely love this. Really good stuff, really good reflection. Maori, did you have another contribution or was that an old hand? I want to make sure I don't miss it. All right, that mute button on the cell phone is a kick in the ass sometimes. Maori, I'm going to come back to you while you find that mute button. So let's keep cruising, you guys. By this Friday, I want you to be very clear on this. And we talk about this every single morning, and I cannot say it enough. What does success look like by Friday? And let's say it's not Friday. Let's say it's Sunday. Okay, give yourself the weekend because your open houses as well. And how will I know I earned it? Right? What will success look like by the end of this week? And how will I know that I earned it? Be specific about your numbers, the actions, and the outcome. I know that I would call this week a success if I successfully delivered 2 in-person trainings, 3 coaching, 5 recruiting appointments, if I was able to send out 2 emails to people that I want to attract to our amazing company, if I successfully launched 2 intensities this week, like I know exactly what I'm going to have this week look like. And I know the numbers, I know the stats, I know the metrics, I know the figures. Do you? Do you know specific numbers and outcomes and actions that you want to reach this week that you would look back and be like, damn, this week was a success. I knocked on 500 doors. I dropped 7 videos. I created 300 stories this week. I was a maniac. I was a mad woman. Be specific. Put your numbers down and put it into action. Another question, who needs to feel my energy, passion, and professional pursuit this week, and how I show up for the people without hesitation, right? Maybe it's your consumers. Maybe it's somebody that is in a struggle right now. I don't know who it is, but who needs your full energy, passion, and professional pursuit this week? Somebody said it earlier, and I wrote this down in my own words. When in doubt, we focus out. When in doubt, we focus out. And I promise you, if you spend time focusing your energy outward, you're going to start to find, oh, I'm fulfilling my need. I'm closing that gap. I'm fulfilling my need. I'm closing my gap. So you guys, who needs to feel your energy, passion, and professional pursuit this week? And how am I going to show up for them without hesitation? Share one self-defeating thought or habit you catch yourself falling into weekly. And be real, no fluff. And I want you to sit with that one for a moment. Share one self-defeating thought or habit you catch yourself falling into every single week. I'll give you one. I'm not good on camera. I'm not good on camera. Oh, I hate door knocking. I'm not good at door knocking. What? Oh, I'm not good at making cold calls. Okay, how many of those have you actually ever done? Do you even have the permission, once again, to say that you're not good at any of those things? How many of you have said, I'm not good on camera? I even uttered those words. I'm not good on camera. That is self-defeating language that you have to catch yourself, because when you do it, you're going to fall into a pattern over and over again. So then the pattern interruption strategy, meaning that when I find myself saying, oh, I'm not good on camera. Oh, I'm not good at door knocking. Oh, I'm not good at public speaking. That's why I don't put my camera on. Don't raise my hand in group coaching. No, you have to say this week, how do I disrupt that pattern and replace it with this, right? Instead of saying, I'm not good on camera, I am working towards getting better. I'm developing my confidence. I'm developing my cadence, right? I'm not good on door knocking. How many doors have you actually knocked in your career? I'm not good at cold calling. What? How much time have you actually practiced that? So the moment that pattern hits you and you know that it's negative for whatever reason or whatever topic it is, then you have to ask yourself, how do I pattern interrupt it and replace it with something else? That is a conscious effort that when you do it enough consciously, it now becomes part of your subconscious, right? Because we all go through that. But when you are a fortress, when nothing can get into your castle, now you've controlled it. You have a pattern interruption. You say, you know what? Listen how I'm thinking. Wait a minute. Did I just say that out loud to somebody? Did I just tell my coach I'm not good on video? What? And I've never created any video? What is the pattern interruption that you're going to tell yourself to break that cycle? We all go through it. But look at what you've been able to do in your life. Your moms, your dads, your providers, You are dog moms, dads or dog dads and dog moms. You have grown academically, spiritually, physically, athletically. Look at all the things that you've been able to do. And in those times where you had doubt, you had to interrupt yourself and say, you know, no, I'm doing this. I'm going to get my degree. I'm going to do this. I'm a great mother. Yeah, we're having hard times, but man, I am a great mother. I'm a great father. Look at all the things that you've been able to create thus far in your life. What patterns are not serving you in your life? What discussion are you having with yourself? And what are you going to do to break that cycle every single week? So guys, I'm going to pause there. I'm going to go around the room, get a couple key takeaways before we wrap session today. And I'm going to go back to Cecilia. Cecilia, can we find that mute button? And you have a key thought and one key takeaway from our time together today. Let's roll.
Okay. So one thought that I've had since I'm a new agent is that I'm not qualified because I don't have the experience in this arena, but I am qualified. I have a lot of work experience, and I did 2 open houses this weekend that I raised my hand for. And so by myself, and just I want to continue putting myself out there, and I will be qualified as I, get more experience. And like you said, just keep showing up. And that's what I want to do. But I don't want to discount myself and say that I'm not qualified.
I love this. Okay, so here's the self-defeating thought or habit. I'm not qualified enough, right? The pattern interruption and the strategy is this week I'm going to disrupt that pattern by reminding myself of what I actually bring to this game, right? I'm a great communicator. I lead with empathy. Shit, I'm a mom. I run a household. I've got this. I've raised a whole ass human.
Yep.
I've raised a human. And I'm going to tell myself that I'm not qualified. Were you qualified to be a mother? No, you just figured shit out. This baby's got to eat. And I figured it out. Right now I've raised an amazing human. Love it, Cecilia. Appreciate it. I get excited about these things. This shit shakes me up. So appreciate your contribution. Aaron, Chris, let's go to you. One key thought, one key takeaway from our time together today. Let's roll, Aaron.
Well, I mean, I think a key takeaway is working through that valley, and I've heard JJ say it before, where he had the coal miners. Like the easiest and best way that I found to get through feeling like you're in a lull is just work until it works. The Meon says that there's so many people in this space that remind you just keep pushing, keep working, and so sometimes you don't even really realize you're in the valley of despair because you just keep working and you get through it, right? And so I can appreciate the sentiment of that, and then also the sentiment of doing some self checking and understanding if you're doing all the things to really feel like you're in a valley of despair, and so that's important, because if you're doing all the things, you're usually not in that valley of despair. You're feeling yourself.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you said that, because the top of this, valley of despair is uninformed optimism, meaning that, oh, I'm just excited to be here, right? I'll do this, I'll do that. And then you start to hit a struggle in this business, and then you have informed pessimism, right? And then at that valley, it's this valley of despair, right? Shit got hard. Oh my God. People slammed the door in my face. Oh my God, I posted a video, nobody likes it. I'm in this valley of despair. And then once you fight past that and you have informed optimism, meaning one thing that you did actually worked, now you're like, I have informed optimism in order for me to keep going. Sometimes it's just that hit that we need. It's that one hit that we need to be like, I finally caught a break. You didn't catch a break. This is the culmination of all the hard work that you've been putting in behind the scenes. And now finally, because you worked through that valley, you're seeing success. Good stuff, Aaron. Really good stuff. You guys, I want to share this with you before we cut. I'm going to put this on social media later today. But you guys, we're doing a AI and ChatGPT prompt training tomorrow at HQ. Yes, we created this really cool reel. I'm going to post it on social media later. So that's tomorrow from 12 to 2 o'clock, HQ. So if you guys want to leverage your time, learn how to use ChatGPT, use some really cool AI tools, make sure that you are in the house tomorrow. I want to pack the house and thank you guys for everybody that's been coming to the in-person trainings. I think they've been really impactful. I've been hearing a lot of great takeaways. And so you guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being in this moment. Take this call and make this an experience, right? Learning and stuff like this is about an experience. It's not just in the moment. What did you experience? And then what can you do from here moving forward? Okay? You guys have a busy week ahead of you by choice, right? You could sit on your ass and do nothing. You could sit on your ass and not drop a video. You can not knock on doors. You can choose all those things, right? Or you can choose to step up in your business. That is 100% something that you can own. So you guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being present. Thank you for all your contributions. And as always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and make this a week that counts. Peace.